Hello and welcome to the UK Flown podcast. As you can see, we are in a different environment. Today we are friends at KHR in Southampton at their annual Tools Day. Today we have got the Board Builders, Sam from the Board Builders, to explain all on how to produce content, the positives, the negatives of running a trades business, and predominantly how to win using content. Enjoy, sit back and enjoy the show. And as always, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Sam, welcome to the UK Flown podcast.
Thank you for having me.
For the uninitiated, who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Sam, one part of the Ball Builders. My business partner Brad is the other bald one. We do social media. We're also builders, and we do national breakfast radio on Fix Radio, Monday to Friday, 6 till 9 a.m. Fix is basically a station built for builders and tradespeople. Is a mixture of us in the morning with the banter and getting you ready for the day. Then it goes into some music, and then the day gets on and bits of trade related stuff, and got Clive Holland who does the middle show. So yes, that's like a big part of what we do now. It never started in radio, but that's quite a big thing of what we do. And then we're filming socials as we're filming our building. Yeah. So as soon as we finish radio, we're back. We're straight on the job. Right, well. We're lucky. We're lucky enough to be in a position where we're not working for clients. So we are the client, right, but we are also the builder. Right. So we've got a guy called Brad. We like to call him Hollywood Brad, because he loves being on camera. He is our builder, so he manages the job from a hands-on point of view. I deal with all materials, and then my business partner, let's call him Big Brad because he's bigger than Little Brad, he deals with all paperwork and dealing with all the boring stuff, if you like. So yeah, we're busy boys.
Where now, forgive me if I'm wrong, because I did look at a couple of old videos, and I remember, I'm going to call it the drive-through video.
Yep.
Is that where it started, or where did it originally start? What was?
So it originally started. Brad had an online builders merchants 15 years ago.
Okay.
So we were selling building materials online. You could go onto a website and you could go and put your flooring, your glue, your self-leveling, whatever you wanted to put on your list. And what the system would do is basically work out the cheapest delivery, but something, if it's cheap, it could be in 3 deliveries, or you pay 100 quid more and it will all come from one person. Right. So it will be a comparison site.
Yeah. Okay.
And we were just a bit early to the market. I think even now, the building industry isn't there for heavy side materials buying online. Toolstation and bits like that are good for click and collect, and I think the younger generation are coming through and they're using that. But to go and buy blocks, sand, cement, timbers online, I just don't think it's there yet, because the older boys, they like going into the merchant, they're going to have a coffee, they spend half hour in the merchant, and then they'll be out.
Right, yeah.
So we were a bit early to the market, but at that time we had no money to market the business, and socials there wasn't anyone really in the building industry doing it. It was free reign. You had on the tools, they had started a similar time as where we did, so we started putting out construction style videos. I was in the office selling building materials, running the website, and Brad went back on site after he'd spent 8 years behind the scenes developing the app with developing the website. And yeah, so we had to market the business. We had no money. We had an investor, and he basically said we need to do something because we was ploughing a lot of money into Google AdWords at the time. So we started socials, got to about 40,000 at the time. Brad was still on site doing your jovial stuff and your sketches, and back in them days pranking the labourers and things like that, the standard sort of stuff. And then we had a meeting with a big builders merchants to potentially sell the website to them. And he said, come back in a year's time, prove it works. Within that year, we turned over £1 million, but we were hemorrhaging money because we were spending a lot of money on Google AdWords. And the main thing we were selling is Stuart Turner shower pumps because we were cheap on it. We was cheap on Google, but there was no money in them because we were selling them cheap to try and get people through the door. So the margin was terrible. Anyway, we had one guy who we was close with who was a big builder. He would buy material, but he would be the only one that would ever have an account. No one else could have an account. You'd pay as you go. He basically flopped us for 50 grand. And our investor said, you've got X, Y, and Z time to find 50 grand or I pull the plug. We couldn't find 50 grand. Our investor's daughter passed away and he just had a bit of drama in his life at the time. So, so that flopped to that. We folded the business. We were left with nothing. We had one job on, and when we had left the other builder, because obviously he owed us money, we never spoke to him again. Yeah. He took all the tools and the bits and the bobs. So we had like a leaking Makita radio, a handsaw and a square. We had nothing, mate. We didn't even have a van.
Right.
So we just had to finish a loft conversion. We got paid off the job and then nothing. We had no work. Nothing was coming in. We used the profit to go and buy a van, but I ended up buying a Jag because... because the reason is we was driving far. It was like an hour and a half to get to where we was working and where most of our work had always been. So I thought, let's go in a bit of comfort. Because I went and see a van and the van was crap. So the geezer went, what about this Jag I've got? It's nice and cheap. And I thought, oh, lovely. We'll be driving in comfort. So I brought the Jag. And anyway, the work's dried up. So we had nothing. Brad was living in a caravan in the mother-in-law's garden. I was living in our office at the time, basically. And yeah, we had nothing. So we got in the Jag. We went around knocking on people's doors, trying to clear out guttering, whatever we could do. If we could earn 100 quid and we'd split 50 quid at the end of the week. And then a job came in out of nowhere, refurb. A builder had already been on the job, and he pulled off. Should never take that job on. Took the job on because we was desperate. And then basically we got to 40,000 people on the socials, but we'd never turned the page off. We just hid it. So when we was going through all the rubbish, we just hid it, but the people were still there. Anyway, so we've done the job and a guy's come up and they wanted flow screed flooring, like anhydrate screed. The guy come in, put his tripods out, pumped it in, dapple barred it and went, see you later. He was there 2 hours, two grand, I think he charged at the time. And we were like, we need to be doing that. There's money there. So we finished the job. We took the profit from the job. We brought ourselves a van, and then we brought the gear that we needed to do the screeding. Didn't have a pump, but we hired in a concrete pump or a smaller pump when we needed it, when we got the jobs coming. At that time, we were then again into the predicament, how are we going to market the business? Leaflets, flyers. There's 40,000 people that were builders at the time are sitting there on a page that we've stopped for a year. Why not relight the fire? Relit the fire. We'd done a video. Brad basically said he went to get milk and I was in the van. Because at the time, previously, before we shut down, me and Brad were doing videos together. Yeah. So then it was a year later, Brad had gone and got milk, come back and we're back on it. We're back on socials. We're here to go. Started promoting the fact that we were doing anhydrate screed flooring. Busy. Flat out. And then we just started Snapchatting our whole life. So we were vlogging every day. Right. What we was doing on the job, when we was coming home, doing everything you can imagine. Brad was coming up with these crazy inventions. We'd post them. And then we sort of started bringing our life into it more than just the work and the trade we was doing. So that sort of kicked it then off from there when we had this big relight. And then, yeah, Frank's Flow Screed, it was called. Brad's youngest boy at the time was called Frank, called it Frank's Flow Screed. And we was just going gung-ho with that. And then the socials took over. So we got to a point where socials was earning us enough money to not have to do the flow screed. But what happens is when you get to that point, this was back when like socials was good money. Facebook, you used to be able to earn good money. TikTok.
When was that? What sort of year?
5-6 years ago. TikTok was nothing at the time. It was called something else, I think. But Facebook, you could go and earn good money. Like, I'm talking your year's wages in a month. We had a month where we was doing 60 million minutes of watch time consistently.
Just on Facebook?
Just on Facebook. It was crazy. And that was the time of the McDonald's and the KFC hack things we was doing, where we was winding people up. But what we done is we come away from the flow screed, and we then started doing the silly stuff like the KFC stuff and the McDonald's hacks and the inventions. And that grew our following. And then it just got to a point where we're like, okay, we're called the Ball Builders. We haven't done any building for like 6 months, a year. So then we managed to save enough and get to a level where we didn't have to work for clients. So now all we do is buy our own and sell our own projects. So we've done mine, we've done Brad's, we've just done Brad's daughter, and now we're back at Brad's because Brad sold his previous one, and now we're building another one. So it's full circle. We're back in the building.
And what do you think is the thing that is it? From what everyone I've interviewed with socials, or I'm going to use the word influencing, but
did you book the ice cream van? I think you have, haven't you?
That's the game. If we find the mics, will love it. We always have things like this. Is it just consistency and quality of content? Is there any else? If someone else was sitting there thinking, even a builder, a floor layer, or whatever that's poor. Mm-hmm. Is it just getting out there, getting it done, and being every day, or is there anything else that apart from paying to play? Yeah. What else would you do if you had to? Everything was wiped today.
Yeah, and start again.
Where would you be? What would you be doing?
We've done it a few times where we've had different pages and we've had to start from scratch. And I always get other tradespeople and stuff that are in the social world, and they always come to me and say, "Well, how have you done it?" I said, "Well, one." Consistency every single day. We posted 2 videos a day consistently for the last 8 years. We've never missed a beat. And we are super consistent. So consistency, always being seen. The way I describe it is, if your missus watches EastEnders at 7 o'clock and she knows that it comes on at 7 o'clock every single day, she's going to sit there at 7 o'clock and watch it. You know that a Ball Builders video will go out at 7 p.m. on YouTube on Sunday, every Sunday, without fail. On Facebook, it will go out at 7:30 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. without fail. People will get that into their brains subconsciously the more they see it. And the way the algorithm works, it will reward you for being consistent. Yeah. That's not to say go and post 100 videos a day. No. Because you can overdo it. So I'd say consistency is key. Being yourself, because what happens with, and I've seen it firsthand with other trades in the industry, they go on socials, they gain a nice little following, they get a few little deals, and they end up thinking they're Tom Hanks. Do you know what I mean? Tom Cruise, and they're walking around like the big I am. If you meet me in person, I'm the same as I am on camera. You can meet me on a night out. I'm the same person. Yeah. You can't get caught out. No. And what happens is a lot of boys get caught out, and then they go, it only takes one person to go, "Oh, mate, I love your content. Can I get a photo?" And then that person go, "Nah, mate, you're all right." Or, "No, I ain't got time to speak to you." And then they go, "Oh, he's a bit of a," do you know what I mean? Yeah, and then that then goes from that person to that person. And then all of a sudden in the industry, you're known as a bit of a knob. Like, do you know what I mean? So consistency, be yourself. I would say quality of content, but also we keep everything raw. The only stuff we edit really is on YouTube. All of the social media stuff is just organic. It's just be yourself. And they're never going to go and always get 1 million views. They're never going to always get 100,000 views, 200,000 views. You're not going to go from 1,000 followers to 1 million followers overnight. These take time. It took us 5 years to get to where we are now, and listen, you can do it quicker, but the what happens with doing it quickly is you never build a character. So when you approach brands, they don't know who you are. If you're just filming a time lapse of your day, who are you? Where's your personality? It hasn't come through on the camera.
No.
So when you go to a brand and you go, I've got 1 million followers on YouTube, subscribers on YouTube, and I've got 100,000 on TikTok, and they go, yeah, who are you though? What do you do? Because from my point of view, if I'm a brand, what are you going to do? Just film a time lapse of me laying on the floor? No, I want to sit. I want to hear you. I want to see that character come through. So I think we've built a good personality and an actual brand through that time. Although we haven't got the most followers across the board of other social people, we've got a great name in the industry from being consistent and bringing your personality and running it more like a business than getting cocksure of yourself and walking around like the big I am, like I deserve this, I deserve that. Do you know what I mean? Because it gets to people's head and they walk around big-headed. Think of it as a business like you do with the business you do, and never look at it as, I only want to go and do socials, because socials can turn off tomorrow and you've got nothing and you're back floor laying anyway, or you're back building, you're a bricklayer again.
Someone else's platform.
You're always down to what they want to do. If TikTok all of a sudden want to go, we're half what we give you now, then you've just lost half. But you need to fit it in with what you're doing. It needs to be a sideline to your trade.
And what's the biggest disadvantage of that constant flow of content?
Disadvantage is, obviously, if you're working, you've got to try and fit in filming, editing, posting and working.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And if you run your own business, you've got the paperwork of the business. What I would say is get up in the morning, film. I've got film me in the van. All right, people, I'm just going, this is a job I've got to do today. First part of the video. Second part of the video. Just got to the job. This is what we're doing. Show them the job. Lunch. End of the day, going home.
Yeah.
Clips. You've got 5 or 6 clips. Put them together. You've got your day. That's one video. And that can be posted the day after, the day before. Yeah. Because you can always film it. And you can schedule them. You could go and film 6 videos, 7 videos. You've got 7 days worth of content. And mix it in with photos of the work you're doing. Make the people fit. You've got to bring these people in on a journey of what you're doing. It's all good saying this is the job I'm doing, taking a photo of it. But it's, again, who are you as a person? And people love following journeys. Our journey from going from a caravan in the back garden to now the sort of project we're on, people have followed that for years. So it's about building that and just showing. It's no different to running a project.
No.
You have to look at it as the social media is your project as well. So I think what people struggle with is consistency. And I speak to boys all the time, but I explain the same formula. Film getting up in the morning, film getting in your van. It's done. It's there.
People don't think that's interesting, but it
is.
Yeah.
And it sounds boring to you. I walk around the site and I'll go, this is what we're doing today. We just had this delivery. I'm not even on camera. We just had this delivery. Brad's doing this. They're doing that. And then at the end of the day, I'll go back and I'll say, right, that's done. Boom, 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 boom. Put it together. It's 2 clips.
Yeah.
And it's a 3.5 minute video and it's gone out. Obviously, we've got our cameraman full-time, Kieran, who films for us for YouTube, because YouTube's a different beast. You got to film landscape. You got to edit it, and it's longer form. But don't stress yourself to go straight to YouTube. Build your following. Get used to filming. Get used to being on camera. Then go to YouTube. YouTube is where the money is now, but it costs money to get there. Okay. Right. So Kieran ain't free.
Well, apart from
unfortunately,
camera team, why is YouTube the place to go? Yeah, even if you're a tradie.
Yeah.
Well, suppose dual answer. Why is YouTube the go-to for you? Mm-hmm. And is there any value of a floor layer or bricklayer using YouTube?
I think from a floor layer point of view for YouTube, how-to guides always do well, regardless of what you do. You can film them landscape on your phone, and if you're consistent enough with how-to guides, you will blow up on there, and you can earn millions of pounds. This is not thousands of pounds. This is millions of pounds, because YouTube. Back to your question about why YouTube are always consistent with being honest of what they give you per 1 million views. they don't try and strangle the cat. They're always fair, and they always have been, and they're not going anywhere. TikTok can be shut down tomorrow. Facebook have just brought in a thing where if you're on Facebook, you can pay £3 to not see adverts. The adverts are what earn you money as a creator. So then you're now not getting that money. See how quickly that is to turn that off.
Yeah.
Whereas YouTube, although you can do the premium on YouTube, there's enough people that don't pay that to make it work. Yeah. So YouTube is the best money. And I think from a floor layer's point of view, or even any other tradesman, if they don't want to vlog their life on YouTube, then start off doing the odd how-to guides, film it landscape on your phone, set it up on a tripod, show what you're doing, take it off the tripod, show what you're doing, piece it together.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you still have to have a bit more quality than you do on other socials. It's not as organic as Facebook. Facebook's so fast, TikTok's so quick, whereas YouTube, you're physically going there to watch that, and you know you're going to sit there for 15 minutes, an hour, whatever. If you're listening to a podcast, you know you're going to go over to YouTube and you're going to be sat there for an hour. So it's not as swipe. Oh, I've seen that. Oh yeah, nice video. This is set out. Think about what the person is going to watch. If you Google how to lay a floor, then you can come up with YouTube. So yeah, that's why I like YouTube. It's not our strongest social media, and it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
But it can be done.
And how did the radio show come about? And I mean, because all of these seem to be like, consistency is the thing. I've always wondered, TV presenters, radio shows, and things like that. You can't really have if you're having a bad Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
It's like you've still got to show up. You can't go, oh, I'm feeling, you could probably go out onto site and have a shit day and not really get any criticism.
Yeah, you can go on site and just not talk to anyone, right? And you can just crack on with your day.
Yeah.
We're up at 3 a.m. We get to the radio for 4ish. We start Monday to Friday. Wow. We start radio at 6. So in that period of time, we're prepping the show because we get a big old bit of paperwork. We've got 2 producers. And we've got to get on that mic at 6 o'clock in the morning, no matter what you're feeling. If you've had an argument with your missus, your dog's just died, you've got a bad foot, you've got a headache, you've got to wake the nation up. We're waking the tradespeople up on a Monday morning, a Tuesday morning, and we've got to be consistent, and we've got to bring them up because a lot of boys and girls work on their own. So they look at us as their second person in the van. They're travelling to work in the morning. They don't want us going, oh, my dog's died. Like, oh, I've had a really rubbish evening. Oh, the missus has kicked me out. Or, do you know what I mean? She caught me wearing her knickers or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to be consistent the whole time.
Yeah.
And it is hard, but we love what we do with radio, and it's come so far. We never thought we'd be radio producers. We got hounded by one of our producers. He's not our producer anymore, but when Fix started, they were London and Manchester, and the CEO's thing was to get us on the radio. And our producer Jackie come to us 2 years solid and said, "Can you come do the radio? Come and have an interview. Come and see what it's all about." And we were like, "Nah, shut up, mate. We have nothing." At this point, we were smashing it on Facebook, so didn't really care about radio. No idea what radio was. Yeah. Not a clue what we was going to do. And then one day we gave in and we went, "All right, mate. Yeah, come on. We'll come and have a meeting." So went down there and he was like, "Right, we're London and Manchester at the moment. These are the plans. We want to go national. Blah 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 blah. Can you do a Friday, an hour on a Friday?" And we were like, "Yeah, but we're not coming to London because it's impossible for us to get there every day." So we built a little studio in our old office, had a little podcast set up basically. Done that for 6 months, and they go, "Okay, boys, we're still London and Manchester, but we want you Monday to Friday." Okay, no problem, for an hour, Monday to Friday. Done that. And then Louis, the owner, took us up to the Shard in London, and he presented us with a plaque and said, "You got a breakfast show, and we've just gone national." So he raised £1 million from tradespeople, crowdfunding. They all invested, and he brought the license, which is £1 million to be on DAB, which basically, if you're DAB, means you're national, you're everywhere. Yeah. So you can pick us up on the Makita radios, you can pick us up in your van, you got the app. And at that point, we were sitting at probably about 120,000 listeners, and we've just took on the breakfast show. So now we're doing breakfast radio on a national DAB radio. So this is the same wavelengths as like your Kisses, your Hearts, your Talksports. We're in the same as that, and we still don't know what we're doing, bruv. This is radio. And then yeah. So, but going back to when we first went down there, we said to him, we will do radio if we get breakfast show at one point, because we always knew we wanted to do the best thing that we could on that radio station. Although we had never been on radio at this point, we just had the ambition that we will do breakfast because we know that is the most important thing in the morning to get them going. And lo and behold, 2 years down the line, whatever it was, 2 years down the line, we've now got the breakfast show. And then within the first year, we'd been nominated for Best New Breakfast Show from the Arias, which is the Radio Academy. It's sort of like the Oscars of the radio world, if you like. Got nominated for that. Didn't win anything. And then the year later, the show and everything got nothing. The year after, the third year, we're now just shy of 1 million listeners. And we won a Silver Aria for Best Breakfast Show. Wow. So not new Best Breakfast Show. Best Breakfast Show, we were up against Greg James, Nadia Gray, so Radio 1 Extra. And we come second in that. So yeah, the radio's been massive for us. And we love what we do.
What time do you finish that? Like
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, and then we're straight out the door and we're on site. So Hollywood Brad, who I spoke about earlier, he will be on the job, obviously doing the work, doing the bits of work, and then I'll go and drop him material, make sure he's got what he needs, make sure this is booked in. Brad will turn up, manage the job, and say, right, this is what it needs to look like, and then we run it like that. So we're straight back out on site. And then repeat. But then we also own half a plastering company, and estate agents, and we're part of an app. All to do with the trade, but yeah.
And what does the app do?
So it's called Trades Rapid Response, and it's basically the famous taxi app, but for builders. So rapid response engineers. So if you're pest control or you're a roofer, sparky, plumber, if you go on the app and you say I've got a leak, within half an hour, you have a tradie at your door.
Wow.
You pay a yearly fee, so not a massive monthly fee like the others. And you basically the client will get charged 150 quid as a call out. If you can fit it in, you can do it within that 150 quid. You keep the whole 150. There's no commission to us. And then if, for example, if you had a leaking boiler, you sorted the problem and then the client come back to you 3 weeks later and said, can you come and change the boiler? That's you. That's all yours. Nothing to do with us. And we just take the yearly fee.
Right.
It's about 300 and something quid a year.
Wow.
Whereas the other ones are that a month. So that's just being launched now, which is very interesting.
So big question, what's next?
Next year,
Hollywood. Where you must,
Next up for us is we're on the biggest project we've ever done, and we're basically rebuilding a house. So Brad's project. So that's the biggest thing we've ever done. We haven't actually got the money to do the job. So we're on a blag, which we've always done. We've blagged our way through everything.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing we're doing next year, and that's going to take up the whole of next year.
So that building from scratch or renovate, it's a building?
It's technically a large extension,
right,
but we're leaving a wall up and then rebuilding off the wall. So it's gone from a 3-bed cottage to 6-bed detached in a private estate. So that's the big one.
And I'm assuming because it all is one big circle, because on the breakfast show you can talk about the pains of that project.
Yep.
Because you're going to get pains. It's not going to be smooth.
Oh no, it's not.
And then you need to shoot content to get support and help and deal with decent materials.
Yeah.
It
all works hand in hand. The socials and the radio works perfectly. And we're still in the trade then, but we're doing it and we haven't got to worry about a client because we couldn't be there at the time because we do radio. No one wants us rocking up at 10 o'clock to start their extension. Yeah. So we're in a position where we can buy and sell our own work in theory. But it's taken pain to get there.
And probably my last question. I'll think of another one after because it's a bit solemn. What's been the most difficult thing over the last 10 years? What have you really struggled with? We've talked about a lot of positives. So
Yeah, I think
I'm assuming it's never been, it's not just been
no, it hasn't.
unicorns and
No,
rainbows.
no, for sure. So, I think when we was at the lowest and we'd lost everything, just before that we had 40,000 followers. And remember, no one's doing socials at the moment with construction industry. We're at 40,000 and we think we are the bollocks. We have got signed flyers that we're signing and sending to people. We're getting photos in the street. We think we're some sort of Tom Cruises, and it's gone straight to our head. Back to what I said earlier about coming away from being yourself. We was the complete opposite. And yeah, it went to all of our heads. I split up with the missus. I went on a bit of a rampage, thinking I was Hugh Hefner, as you do. Brad's missus said to him, "You need to stop socials because the same. It's gone to our heads." So that was a dark spot, and that was when we had to turn everything off and give ourselves a big old slap and be like, "What are you doing?" So that was hard. Obviously, having no money and
Did you turn it off for a period of time?
turn it off for a year, yeah.
A year?
We turned it off for a year and rebuilt ourselves.
Right, okay.
Slapped ourselves. This is at the point where we were splitting 50 quid. And we was painting fence panels in the ice just to try and get it. So I think that's probably one of the darkest sort of spots of time. I've gone through a bit of mental health issues, gambling. I used to be a big gambler, so this was before all of that. So it all come on top of it at once. So I'm there gambling. I'm there thinking I'm Billy Big Balls as well, because we've got this on social media that no one else is really doing, and it's all this new thing. And yeah, it all just come on top of me. And I think it was near COVID-y time. I ended up in hospital from taking all my antidepressant tablets at once, and had to get through that. So I think that was probably the hardest part of my time within what we was doing, but always had Brad there. Yeah. But he wasn't like easy on me.
No.
He made me need to get better. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, always having him there and vice versa. I think we just work well together. So that's a low point, it's a hard point, but.
And is there anything to keep up some, like that's a low, and I think we've all had that moment or time. How do you keep up? What do you do personally and emotionally to keep that momentum going? Like, irrelevant to having each other.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you both near enough do to perform at a high level? Like, it's a non-negotiable that you're like, look, we do this to get that result.
I think we've both got the end goal of our mortgage is going to be paid off. We've got good women behind us. Brad's been with his wife 20 odd years, or even longer. I don't even know, 30 years. You know what I mean? They've been together a long time. He's always had good support from her.
Yeah.
I've got a good girlfriend. I've got a kid now, so I've got good motivation to carry on. And we both always know our end goal is to be mortgage free, and that's always been the end goal. Yeah. Is to make sure the kids have got houses, to make sure we're mortgage free, and that's what we work. That's why we work. We work 7 days a week, 20 hours a week. Do you know what I mean? We finish radio at 9, we get home at 5, we have to fit family in, we go to bed at 10, 11 o'clock, and we're up at 3 again. So yeah, it's just but we've done that for the last 10 years. So it just becomes normal. And whenever we have a lull period, so if we had just finished Brad's daughter's house, but we hadn't started Brad's house yet, so we had like a lull period of probably 3-4 weeks, whereas we were still busy, but it wasn't as mad busy as we usually are. It gives me anxiety, and it really throws me off. So I think just staying busy it's just a normal, and it's not work. We don't go to work. It's our life. So I think as soon as you can get to that sort of stage.
Can you get family holidays, holidays themselves Can you go no phone, cold turkey for a week to
No.
Benetton? You
No.
no, you don't.
Never. I'll go on holiday for a week and I'll still be messaging all the boys. Right. Brad will be there. And don't forget, the filming doesn't stop. We've got family pages as well. So Brad's family's got a page and my family's got a page. So if we're on holiday, we're filming for the family page. So it doesn't stop. We don't have a holiday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's busy. But it's good. No. Listen, if you want to get something out of life, you've got to put the hours in and you've got to put the effort in. If you don't, you ain't getting nothing out. You only get what you put in. So I think if people are starting socials, be consistent and be ready for some pain, because it's going to be painful.
I think it's a lot of people think by posting more than not even once a week, once a day, people are going to get sick of you. And
it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. It's
100%.
And everyone I've interviewed and spoken to, and it's just that absolute it's like a drill going. Just
it's
like
the same thing
all the time. There isn't obviously you can pay to play, but that doesn't get you that's just going to cost you.
Yeah.
Being yourself doesn't cost you.
No, it's free. And if you start a character, you've got to keep that character up, because when someone sees you and you're not that character, they're going to be like, well, he's a bit of a knob then. You've got to be yourself. If you're going to play that character, then make sure you can play that character all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying if you're doing a sketch and you're pretending to be someone, but if you're consistently going to have this persona, you better make sure you keep that up. And you better make sure you've kept that up when you're shopping in Tesco with your missus, because someone will see you and someone will come up to you. And if you're not this jovial person that you are, they're going to catch you out.
I remember starting this podcast, and it was originally called the Wood Floor Podcast. And the first 3 podcasts, I didn't put an act on, but I was on my best behaviour.
Yeah.
And I was asking proper questions. Yeah. And I was thinking, I've just said shit.
Yeah.
And I had this nervousness about me. Yeah. And the minute I just went, I'm past caring.
Yeah.
I'm just, and it was only 4 episodes in.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that, exactly as you said, if you don't like it, don't listen, don't watch it. It's as simple as,
and that's the thing.
And it's not even, it was making me nervous being this sort of, people want to see this proper thing? And I'm like, no.
You just got to be yourself.
Yeah.
And with what you do in podcasts, it's the same as what we do with radio. Imagine you are just talking to your mate in a pub. And because the people that are watching and listening to you, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Don't try and be, this question. Just, it is what it is. Have a conversation and relax, and then that will come across on the camera.
Yeah.
That's sort of my views on socials and where we've come from.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed this one, and it's cemented my perceptions on social, and I think it'll be valuable for our audience as well.
Hopefully, 100%.
Thank you.
Cheers for your time. Thank you, mate.